Hi guys, so this is Sapphire of Sapphire Speaks, and this is my book excerpt. So my book that's coming out July 19th is called Love Letters to My Broken Heart. I'm not going to read anything. I'm really just going to tell you exactly what this book is about and what inspired me to write it. So again, the title is Love Letters to My Broken Heart. And the inspiration behind writing this is that in all of us, in some form or another, what we are searching for is love. We're searching to be loved. We're searching for acceptance. We're searching for validation and trust. And it's so appropriate that my book club is reading Trust, because it allows us to understand exactly where we've lost the trust of ourselves, where we've lost our trust in other people, where we lost our trust in God, and why it's so hard for us to understand love or to find love. And so for me, trust went hand in hand, as well as, for so many of us. And I was listening to this video today, and she broke it up into words, and I wish I would have wrote it down. But she explained that trust was boundaries, it was responsibility, it was accountability, it was, I'm sorry, I will write it down once I find it. But it reminds me that we didn't have, like, a lot of the things in our lives we have manifested. We've manifested these relationships, these people, these things, these homes, all of this stuff or whatever, because we just saw and we just knew what we were told what happiness was supposed to look like. And so a lot of times we weren't specific, or we didn't have an emotional vocabulary. We didn't have the words to say that happiness for me looks like this. Happiness for me looks like this. It feels like this thing. It feels, I can do this. I feel free. I feel this type of way. We didn't have an emotional vocabulary, and so we manifested these things into our lives to give us that vocabulary, to give us an understanding that, yeah, you may want somebody that has a lot of money, but this person has money but no character, no substance. Yes, you may want a pretty package, but this package is just shiny. Yes, you may want this person that does have money, that does have character, that does have substance, that does have this, is great to your kids, this, but now you have to step up to the plate to be the person who is by the side of this person. So the things that we've gone through has given us a vocabulary to say that, okay, what I had was good for me then, it's no longer good for me now. A vocabulary to say, this is what I need, want, and desire in my life. And if we're honest with ourselves, a lot of us, a whole lot of us, we didn't know what it is that we wanted. Like, we manifested these things, but we didn't know what it should look like. I want a happy family. I had no clue what that looked like, besides happiness, besides love, besides everybody being okay. But with my unresolved issues, with a lot of our unresolved issues, with a lot of us looking at our situations through an unhealed eye and an unhealed mind and an unhealed heart, you can have happiness and love and all of those things right in front of you and still not be able to see it, still not be able to get it. It's still not coming through. And so in documenting my failed marriage, my brief relationships, my understanding of what life was, I felt like if I could go back and I could just read through those things, if I could just write it all down and look at my life and see exactly what I've learned from those situations, that maybe it could help somebody understand their life. Maybe it could help you give yourself a vocabulary. Maybe it could help you see that we all go through the same shit, just in different aspects of our lives. We're not perfect. I mean, I absolutely love the fact that Will and Jada came to the table with their shit, with their transparency, because we are told and we are sold this idea that love and life and things look a certain way, and it doesn't always. And so when things don't go our way, we're ready to throw the whole thing away. We're ready to throw everything out. We're ready to doom absolutely everything. We're ready to sit there and go, this is not God, this is not this is not that, or whatever. But are we ready to grow? Are we ready to grow? Are we ready to get big enough to say that, you know what, I have done all that I could for this situation and it's not gonna work, and then walk away and close the door completely? Are we able to say, okay, this is what it takes to step up to the plate, so I'm going to be the person that I need to be so that I can be strong enough to be on the side of the thing it is that I want, so that I can be strong enough to receive the thing it is that I want. And those are like valid, very valid questions. Those are questions that we should all ask ourselves. Does this thing make us feel some kind of way? Because we have to grow up. We have to grow up out of our mindset. We have to grow up out of that childlike state. We have to grow up out of this littleness that we keep putting ourselves in to receive the thing it is that we want. And sometimes you're going, oh, well, it's just I just want somebody who's good to me. And you need to be somebody who's good to yourself. You need to validate yourself. You need to pour into yourself. You need to see yourself laugh, see yourself joyful, see yourself in love, see yourself growing past those boundaries and those confines that we have placed on ourselves. And the reason why it was so important that the words were given to us is because sometimes we don't have the words to say that, you know, this hurts, or I can't love you because you've broken my trust. I can't love you because, or you're making it hard for me to love you because you have no boundaries. You are not accountable for any of your actions. You don't take responsibility. Every time I say something to you, you throw it back in my face. I'm afraid to say anything to you because you judge me. Those are the words. The reason why I don't trust you. The reason why I can't love you. The reason why we should not be together. All of these reasons why are all of the words that I did not have when I was in relationships, when I was finding my way to love, when I was getting abused and feeling broken and feeling like I was in this world alone. And honestly, I really was. And so now I have a vocabulary. Now many of us have a vocabulary. Now many of us have the words and the introspection to be able to look inside to see, okay, well, some of this is me needing to grow up. Some of this is me resisting the thing it is that I want. Some of this is me looking at situations through this fucked up glass because somebody fucked me up. And if your pain or your trauma is anything like mine, once my trust is broken, I revert back to the last time I was hurt really badly, which was as a child when I was taken advantage of. And that's for a lot of us. That's where we started our shell. That's where that distrust of people began. And so we revert back and we take steps back and we run all the way back into ourselves, thinking that life will never be kind to us. This is what I wanted. I tried. I gave it all that I could. And now we're back in our shells and not allowing ourselves to go forward. The truth of the matter is that you realize that you have absolutely no control over absolutely anybody or anything except for yourself. And I think we didn't realize that back then. We were just being ourselves and we were whoever we are, and we didn't care absolutely anything about anything. And after you've gone through so much and those consequences start to catch up with you, you start to care a lot more. You start to be more aware of who you spend your time with, who's in your life, who's in your circle, because you're a lot more aware of just having everybody around you. Everybody doesn't mean you well. Everybody's not on your side. Everybody is not cheering for you, really. We get to learn those things. But a lot of us, we learn the negative things. We don't learn the positive things, like who we are. Like, we can actually do this. The thing it is that made somebody else fall or took somebody else out, you're still standing. You're still going. You still believe. You still trust. You still have that knowing, that belief that is blooming and blossoming inside of you. You made it this far. You should be appreciated. You should congratulate yourself. You should love who you are, because not everybody else has made it this far. And so on this side of things, this side of recognition, this side of standing up, we don't always have the words for that, because we're so used to that negative thing. We don't know what it looks like when somebody is on our side, because we can't trust it. We don't know what it looks like when somebody is in our corner or somebody means the best for us. What we were taught is that everybody is walking around carrying a knife, and so we look for that knife in our back and we fumble the thing it is that we want. And the truth of the matter is that you never know. Like, you can never know. But you can build trust within yourself. You can make yourself so solid and so unfuckwittable and so sincere and so genuine and so just so filled with love, that those bumps and those bruises, they don't fuck with you like they used to. They don't shatter you. So when you trip and fall, you're not shattered. You scrape yourself off and you pick yourself back up, because you know what you are capable of and what you are made of. And for those like myself who is always in search of love and absolutely afraid to take the risk and take the leap over and fall into the cliff. You fall into the cliff or you fall over the cliff, however. But you realize it's a terrifying thing to just jump and hope that somebody will catch you. And so we don't jump. We give every reason why we shouldn't. We our trust is triggered, and so we backtrack, we backpedal, we become those hurt, those wounded people, and then you never get it because you never end up being that person who steps up to the plate to believe that they deserve it. But if you write it out, what does that look like for you? What does love look like for you? What does trust look like for you? What does somebody stepping up to the plate to be that person in your life looks like to you? And not these IG pictures and all of these posts or whatever, but deep inside your heart, after all that you have been through, what does that look like for you? And affirm that every day. Affirm it every day. Affirm that you are the person who has the mindset and the heart and the soul and the spirit to have that thing every day, so that when it comes into your life, you'll know it. It'll be crystal clear. It'll be that thing in your heart that leaps out, and that laughter that never goes away. And although there'll be times where you are confused, or times where you're gonna go through some rough patches, you know that that person is right there holding your hand, by your side. So this book, again, has been some years in the making. It probably should have been put out sooner, but I feel like timing is absolutely everything, and right now it feels like the right time. It feels like a good time. A good time. And in it, I'm very transparent. I'm very open about the things that I learned, open about my part, my role in my relationships, very open about me. And this is all of my interpretation, and any one of them can say, whatever their part is, and that's great too. But my transparency, my faults, my being young and not understanding, my codependency, my misunderstanding of what it is that I needed from a relationship, or what I needed from myself, and how I found myself and how I found love. So I'm Sapphire of Sapphire Speaks. My IG is only one Sapphire, and thank you so much for listening.